Afternoon. And the 6 victims from the mass school shooting in Nashville are being remembered by their community. And UHV and BC signed an understanding to continue working together to provide the best higher education in the Crossroads.
We had about a day and a half of some relatively cool weather. That was today. By tomorrow, we'll be back in the 80s, and then the wind is going to be howling. I'll have a complete look at your 7-day forecast coming up in a moment.
And both the Victoria West boys and girls soccer teams are out of the playoffs. We hear from the coaches and one of the athletes in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. I'm Karina Garcia. Don Brubaker has the night off. New at 10, Beeville Fire Department and the Goliad Volunteer Fire Department put out a massive fire of a downtown commercial building this morning. 7 fire crew members assisted in putting out this fire. As a result, traffic was redirected on Franklin Street between Market and Commercial Street. The Nashville community continues mourning the loss of the young lives lost to gun violence. Those who knew the 3 students and staffers killed in Monday's mass school shooting are remembered as shining lights. And now police response is being praised for how they found and stopped the armed attacker.
I know as sure as I'm sitting here that Catherine went down protecting those kids.
Her friend, Catherine Kuntz, was head of Covenant Elementary School, one of 6 lives lost in Monday's horrific shooting, remembered alongside Mike Hill, the school's beloved custodian, Big Mike to all the kids, and 3 9-year-old students. Evelyn Dickhouse, her family shattered, her pastor honoring her on Wednesday.
She's amazing, shining light.
Howie Scruggs, her father, the pastor of the church that runs the school, and their classmate, William Kinney. Substitute teacher Cynthia Peak, who was filling in at Covenant on Monday. She and Catherine Kuntz were both good friends of the wife of Tennessee's governor, Bill Lee.
Cindy and Maria and Catherine Kuntz were all teachers at the same school and have been family friends for decades. We will act to prevent this from happening again.
Smoke!
The fast actions of officers who charged in to stop the threat 14 minutes after the first 911 call are being widely praised.
Push it! Go.
There's no standing around the hallway talking about it, asking for extra equipment or more people.
We could have been talking about more tragedy than what we are. We had 6 innocent, beautiful lives that were taken, and we had officers that went in harm's way to stop this.
The shooter was identified as 28-year-old Audrey Hale, a former student at Covenant Elementary. While leaders say Hale was under treatment for an emotional disorder, police haven't uncovered a motive for the shooting. Police say Hale owned 7 firearms, each purchased legally. A college art instructor who once had her as a student said she had an outburst in class and appeared to be suffering in social media posts. Police say documents and writings belonging to Hale indicated other possible targets besides the school that day, such as a nearby mall. And this video has surfaced from Nashville showing a group of kids fleeing the shooting scene at their school. This video was captured on a home security camera across the street from the Covenant Elementary School. Sirens can be heard everywhere before a group of children emerge from the woods. They run across a busy road to get away from the school. Luckily, the drivers were all able to stop in time and let them cross the street safely. And so now Democrats are demanding gun reform after the latest mass shooting there in Nashville. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries held a press conference on the Capitol steps urging his Republican colleagues to finally put children's safety over guns. He said House Democrats gathered to speak on the issue today, not just as elected leaders, but as parents and Americans who want to keep children and themselves safe.
So we're demanding that Congress act, because the level of gun violence in this country is unacceptable. It's unconscionable, and it's un-American. And I'm thankful for the leadership of the moms of this Congress who are here today to declare that enough is enough. We need gun safety action, and we need it now.
House Minority Whip Catherine Clark noted this is the 130th mass shooting of the year. Not only a tragedy, but a choice, she said. And in local news, Tuesday afternoon around 2:30, 3 juveniles ran from Victoria Police and the 1400 block of Melrose Avenue. Police believe one of the juveniles was reported missing. One got away, one was turned over to the parents, and one was taken to the Victoria County Juvenile Detention Center accused of evading arrest or detention. And we have an update from a story we brought you weeks ago. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says 37-year-old John Paul Chavez turned himself in. Authorities say he was wanted, accused in several burglaries and thefts in Jackson County, Victoria County, and DeWitt County. And now let's take a quick pause and go to the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Thank you very much, Karina. Good evening, everybody. We had all the cloud cover over the area today. I know I promised you rain. We didn't get much. In fact, we didn't get any here in Victoria, but there was some around the area. I'll show you in a moment. We're looking at 65 degrees right now, and we're going to stay right about there. In fact, tomorrow we're going to be back into the 80s. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast in just a moment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mac, thank you. A bill reducing Florida's current 15-week ban to 6 weeks cleared its last committee in the Senate Tuesday. So many advocates from both sides were presented, it took most of the day to get a vote. The bill reduces Florida's current 15-week abortion ban to 6 weeks, with exceptions for rape and incest up to 12 weeks. The bill advanced despite one defection and universal opposition from Democrats. Now it heads to the Senate floor. Lawmakers expect it may take up a week. The new wave of AI spawning platforms like ChatGPT could lead to automated jobs. In a report Sunday, Goldman Sachs economists predicted 18% of work globally could be or would be computerized. Economists believe the effects would be felt more deeply in advanced economies, with white-collar workers more at risk. The most affected jobs would be administrative workers and lawyers. The report noted technological innovation that initially displaces workers has historically also created employment growth over the long haul. And so this, of course, is going to bring us to your viewer poll tonight. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote live right now. Do you think your job is safe from artificial intelligence, otherwise known as AI? Yes or no? We take a look at these results tonight, and 76% say yes and 24% say no. We want to keep on hearing from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate in our viewer poll tomorrow. Vietnam Veterans Day commemorates the sacrifices made by millions of soldiers who served in the Vietnam War, which lasted from 1955 to 1975. On March 29th, we honor those who fought and died in one of the most divisive wars in American history. Today, the Victoria chapter of the Vietnam Veterans of America held a ceremony at Patriot Park to remember and thank those who served in Vietnam. The ceremony included a prayer, guest speakers, the traditional 21-gun salute, and the playing of taps.
It's about time we get honored, the Vietnam veteran. As you know, we were not honored when we came back home. Right. We were just thrown at the side, but it's about time that we get honored. And but mostly it's, we're honoring the over 58,000 people that died over there.
And she did.
The Department of Veteran Affairs says more than 3 million Americans served in Vietnam, and more than 58,000 people lost their lives. Victoria's local colleges came together this afternoon to sign a partnership agreement to ensure student success. The VC Pirate and UHV Jaguar Jacks joined forces to symbolize the agreement between the two colleges. Presidents from both colleges signed a formal agreement between the schools that ensures students from VC can continue seamlessly transferring to UHV. But there's no one-size-fits-all, so VC and UHV want to accommodate any student no matter what their educational needs might be.
You know, people naturally tend to think in terms of either or, either Home Depot or Lowe's. But in our case, it's not either or, it's us. We're here with one common purpose, and that's to get students from wherever they are to wherever they need to be.
Ultimately, we know as a local community college that our students are going to have higher earnings if they continue their education. And with UHV as our strongest transfer partnership, we absolutely know that our students are going to have higher earnings if they continue that education to a bachelor's degree or a master's degree.
This agreement addresses the needs of students in the Crossroads area and ensures they have the support services and academic advising to make a seamless transfer between VC and UHV. The previous agreement had expired, and this new one lasts for 5 years and can be updated as needed. The Victoria Appraisal District is hosting a public education seminar about property values for the community. Visitors can ask questions and get answers about different exemptions available. There are 3 sessions, with 2 open to the public on April 3rd from 8:30 a.m. to noon and 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. The 3rd session is April 4th from 8:30 a.m. to noon. And now here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave this week. A public hearing is scheduled on April 4th to either defund or abolish the Seadrift Police Department. Iguana Fest returns April 1st, and a 3rd grade student at HJM Elementary took 1st place at the Future Chef District Competition. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, the toll in Ukraine grows as more Russian attacks lead to the devastation of a hospital, a kindergarten, and an orphanage. Also ahead, the district attorney in the fatal Rust shooting case reaccuses herself and appoints a new special counsel.
Don't miss the 48th annual Portland Windfest, March 31st through April 2nd. It's bigger and better this year with indoor vendors, arts and crafts, and food galore. Check out the carnival, car show, IBCA barbecue cook-off, cornhole tournaments, and the famous Speedy Weenies and the Dachshund races. Live music every night with rock and roll, country featuring Coffee Anderson, Tejano, and Zydeco. It's all happening at the 48th annual Portland Windfest, presented by Al Williford Chevrolet. Brought to you by the City of Portland and the Portland Chamber of Commerce.
It's the final days of Ford Truck Month, Texas. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight, including Ford F-150 and the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger. It's the final days of Ford Truck Month, Texas. See what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock. Now, during the final days of Truck Month, lease a new Ford F-150 for just $498 a month, plus complimentary maintenance. Hurry into your Texas Ford dealer.
So I'm back home from college, hanging out with some friends, we're drinking. So we started driving and the road's kind of windy. Next thing I know, I lost control of the car and I crashed into a house. And then from there, you've got the backlash because it was on the news. And before I could even get back home, my phone was blowing up from people's parents, other people like, how could you? So irresponsible. And you go from thinking that I'm this good guy and everything's working out for me to all of a sudden like, I'm a felon. It's a $30,000 mistake for me and something I still think about and have to deal with every day.
Taxes aren't fun. This is.
It sure is, Terry. It's the $50,000 tax season payday cash giveaway this Saturday, April 1st at Coshada Casino Resort with hourly cash drawings from 6 to 10 p.m. And then at 11, one lucky player will take home $20,000 in cash. Don't miss the $50,000 tax season payday cash giveaway this Saturday at Coshada, Louisiana's best bet.
The district attorney in the Rust shooting case is recusing herself and appointing new special prosecutors. Actor Alec Baldwin and the movie's Armorer are both charged with manslaughter in the accidental shooting death that killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. They both have pleaded not guilty. The charges come with 18-month prison sentences. This update comes 2 weeks after the previous special prosecutor stepped down when Baldwin's lawyers urged for her removal. And let's go to Ukraine, where a hospital, a kindergarten, and an orphanage are among the latest targets of deadly Russian attacks.
There isn't much to be salvaged from this business in Slovyansk, demolished Monday morning in a Russian strike. Oleg, his wife, and some friends are loading up what's left. I'm still in shock, says Oleg. I'm 62 years old and I've invested my heart and soul and money to build it. And now that I'm old, it's been destroyed. The attack killed 2 people and injured more than 30. The likely target, an army recruiting office next door. In hospital, one of the victims lies unconscious. A 30-year-old woman. A wall fell on her, fracturing her skull and damaging her internal organs. Surgeon Sergei Okovity has struggled since the war began, trying to mend shattered lives and bodies. Unfortunately, I've had to treat many serious injuries caused by mines and explosions, he says. To the south in Krasnotorka, another Russian attack hit just next to this kindergarten, fortunately empty since the war began. Strikes like this happen on a daily basis. This one occurred late on Monday evening. Hours afterwards, workers make repairs. This area is regularly hit. They may be back here soon. Down the road in Konstantinivka, closer to the front, only a few residents remain. 73-year-old Tamara isn't going anywhere, putting her faith in a higher power. God protects me, she says. God will save me. If not, it is what it is. Artem sells seeds and other supplies to a dwindling community of optimistic gardeners. Everyone is scared, he tells me. Only idiots aren't. Until now, I'm here, but I evacuated my children. Not all children have left, however, one finding solace on a swing amidst the ruins. Ben Wiedemann, CNN, Konstantinivka.
Lawmakers are set to introduce bipartisan legislation today to bring life-saving equipment and training to respond to sudden cardiac arrest to schools. The Access to AEDs Act would extend access to automated external defibrillators and increase CPR training. It would also enable the creation of cardiac emergency response plans in schools. Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin introduced the legislation to Congress today.
These kids represent why we are all here today. As I was growing up playing football, I don't recall ever thinking about CPR or knowing where an AED was in my school or on the athletic field. But for those of you with children who play sports, I'd imagine your experience was similar. With my coaches on the field and my family in the stands, we didn't plan what would happen if sudden cardiac arrest should happen to me or one of my teammates. On January 2nd, that all changed for me and my entire family.
The American Heart Association endorsed the bill. They say 1 in 300 youth has an undetected heart condition, which puts them at risk. The FDA plans to discuss whether birth control pills can be sold over the counter. The pill, called Opill, is currently approved by the FDA, but it's only available with a prescription. If approved, Opill would be the first birth control pill available over the counter in the United States. The American Medical Association has called for allowing birth control pills to be sold over the counter. They say it would remove barriers and increase access to contraceptives. The FDA will meet on the matter in May. Here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Cuero Record this week. Cuero High School one-act play advances to regionals, and William Bill Mathis and ML Garza seek re-election for City Council as Brian Ladwick seeks election for one of the 2 at-large seats. Plus, the junior varsity Gobblers add 2 more wins in baseball. You can read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
Well, good evening, everyone. We had the cloud cover in all day long. Didn't get much in terms of rainfall, but now the big winds are coming back with the warm and humid temperatures, and we'll be talking about that coming up in a moment. Don't go away.
Kimberly and Angel lost their 10-year-old daughter, Amarie, in the tragic Uvalde school shooting.
She'll never know I was trying so hard to get in there.
The friend who tried to save her.
She said they shot my best friend.
She said she was laying there, not breathing, so she hugged her.
While saving herself. She smeared blood on her to make it look like she had been shot. A Dr. Phil exclusive.
When our law firm takes your case, it becomes part of our world. Everyone at the firm works together as a team to get the job done.
We work with each other. We go to trial together.
We're the ones that wake up in the middle of the night thinking about what to do next on a case. That's our job. That's what we're here for.
We help each other on cases, and that's why we get the results that we do.
We are members of this community, and when a member of this community trusts us with their case, we take that trust very seriously.
Have a legal question that you don't have the answer to? Crossroads Law is here to help. The esteemed lawyers of the Cole, Easley & Skiba law firm are here to answer them. Submit your questions to crossroadstoday.com. This is a free service where you can find practical answers about real-life situations you might have encountered. Crossroads Law is a service of the Victoria Television Group and the law firm of Cole, Easley & Skiba, advocates of trial by jury.
Celebrate the start of spring with plenty of family fun at Moody Gardens. Longer days are ahead, so the Victoria Television Group and Moody Gardens wants to help you make the most of this spring with our grand prize giveaway. This package is bundled with attraction tickets for a family of 4, 2 rounds of golf, and a one-night hotel stay. The contest ends March 31st. There are so many ways to have fun. You can't miss it. Go to the contest page on crossroadstoday.com to enter.
Hello, my name is Maclovio Perez. My friends call me Mac. I'm the new chief meteorologist at 25 News Now. In the weather world, our job is to save lives and property. Service is very important, and the people need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. And if they don't do any one of those, then you're not going to be on TV for very long. There's my forecast for the summer. Very hot and a very active storm season. Write that down. Let me know how I did at the end of the season. Welcome back, everybody. Our temperatures were in a very short thermometer today. I mean, we only got up to 73 and our temperature now is 67. So that's the big difference. What happened is that during the morning, we still had that north wind and it was cool. But then by this afternoon, the southeast wind came in and we're going to stay pretty much where we are right now overnight. Now, there is still a slight chance of a shower or two around here overnight. That's because all this moisture is building back up on top of our region. Now you can see the cloud deck there, but right here down in the valley in the Brownsville area, you can see how the moisture is thick enough to create a few little light showers, and I believe these will be sort of tracking around South Texas and eventually getting into our area. None of this is heavy, none of this is strong, just a little bit of wetness overnight, and certainly by noon tomorrow, it'll all be gone because then we're really going to start warming up. Here's an accumulated rainfall total just in case you didn't believe me that there was rain here today. Now, of course, we didn't get much in the city, in fact, nothing, but right at Hallettsville, all the way along the I-10 corridor, that's where the rain was. It wasn't much anything, but I think Hallettsville kept the bulk of it, and so we didn't see much around here. For us, what's happening is that frontal system that came through just 2 days ago is going to move northward as a warm front, and it's going to be bringing us that strong gusty south wind, and that is what's really going to be our weather maker for the next couple of days. Cloud deck, warm, gusty Gulf winds coming through, everything rolling up into this deep area of low pressure that is one of those California storms that it's coming across. And then this frontal system falls apart. I don't believe that it'll do much in terms of any rainfall for us as we get to the weekend. Kind of show you this video. This is a gentleman who was driving down the street in San Francisco, and then these giant trees fell on top of him. They were blown down by the 50-mile-an-hour winds, and you can see how he was able to actually get out of the vehicle. But in a moment, they'll show you the trees that fell on him. This is happening all over California as the winds, you can see the trees there toppling down. Giant sequoias, I mean, falling over because the ground is so wet and so saturated that it's hard for the roots to hold on. It's pretty amazing stuff. Anyway, for us tonight, 69 will be as cool as it gets. Tomorrow we'll get up to about 82, and then all of a sudden we'll say hello to the 80s, and the 80s will be here for quite some time. Now, we have the possibility of some light showers early in the morning, but by late in the day it'll be cloudy and it'll start getting breezy and breezy and breezier all the way in our 7 days. This is what we're talking about. You'll notice that our winds going from 25 miles an hour to maybe 25 to 35 miles an hour on Friday once the front comes through. Remember, the warm front is coming up into the cooler air, so it's coming from the south to the north. And then we get into the weekend and we've got quite a bit of sun. Well, I shouldn't say that. Quite a bit of heat, a lot of humidity, and a little bit of sun because the clouds are going to be hanging tough. Interesting to note that Monday, Tuesday of next week, before this front arrives, we're going to be in a little bit of a heat wave. In fact, while we're looking at low to mid 90s, In inland areas up toward Alice and Falfurrias, they're looking at their first hundreds of the season, so we'll be watching for that. That's your 7-day forecast. Just reminding everybody, we've got a QR code, and if you scan that on your phone, you can get Crossroads Today on your cell phone, and you can take it with us wherever you want to go. You can even take Gino with you.
Thanks, Mac. The Victoria West soccer teams are knocked out of the playoffs. We hear from the coaches after the break.
It's the final days of Ford Truck Month, Texas. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight, including Ford F-150 and the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger. It's the final days of Ford Truck Month, Texas. See what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock. During the final days of Truck Month, drive F-150 with 0%, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days, plus complimentary maintenance. Hurry into your Texas Ford dealer.
For months we've been saying that Fred Loya can save you more money on your car insurance. But just how much more? In recent months, people who switched from Geico and Progressive to Fred Loya Insurance have saved over $1,500 a year. State Farm customers who switched to Fred Loya saved over $1,600 a year. Allstate customers saved over $1,100 a year. That's a combined savings of over $240,000 a year. So start paying less. Call or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save.
You hired the defendant, who was an attorney, and you disputed the bill with him.
A legal client complains years later.
You have a copy of your check?
It was 2 years ago. I haven't retained it.
That's why, if you think you have a dispute, you bring it in a timely fashion.
But right now, this lawyer's got a problem.
I never authorized him to go to court at all.
He says that you filed a complaint against him with the Bar Association.
Next, Judge Judy.
CCA Texas and industry leaders have built the largest saltwater redfish, spotted sea trout, and southern flounder hatchery system in the world, releasing nearly 1 billion fingerlings into our Texas bays. Adult broodstock are spawned in tanks. Hundreds of thousands of fingerlings are raised in grow-out ponds and released into bays to ensure we have healthy populations for future generations. Join CCA today and help us make a difference.
A refreshing countryside experience awaits you. Polo at McFadden, benefiting the Nave. Indulge in gourmet tailgating. Bid on diverse items. Enjoy a breathtaking polo match in a chic, relaxed setting. Gates open April 1st at noon. For tickets and information, call 361-520-4458 or visit the website navemuseum.org. Polo at McFadden. Proudly sponsored by the Victoria Television Group.
At Crossroads, the Victoria West Warriors boys soccer team season is over, but they did gain some valuable experience with the loss. West could not get anything going offensively yesterday, and the defense could only hold the Cowboys for so long. The Warriors would allow 4 goals in the contest and could not put one in the back of the net themselves. West head coach Hazel Avila said he will be losing 6 seniors to graduation, but that's all part of the job.
I mean, we had a really resilient group. You know, it shows. First time in the playoffs in 10 years. We understood what kind of level we had to play at, and it's exciting because now we get to determine, you know, whether we're ready to step up for that for the next coming years.
Coach went on to say that experience is everything, and being able to finally break that drought of not making it to the playoffs is big because it lets the athletes on his team know what it takes to get there. 6 seniors will be leaving the team, and Coach Aviles is thankful for everything that they have done for the team. Victoria West Lady Warriors soccer team played immediately after the boys and were hoping for a better result, but unfortunately that would not happen. This was a big defensive battle in the first half with the Lady Warriors only giving up 1 goal, but that would not last. The Mustangs would catch a groove and go on to score 2 more goals to make the score 3-0. The West Lady Warriors season would end, but head coach Courtney Stoltenberg said the girls have nothing to hang their heads about. Senior Cami Patek is one of the 5 seniors that will be graduating this season.
We have such a strong group. They really play such like a team, like a family. So I know that they're going to continue to encourage each other and get better over the year, but prepare for next season.
I'm really proud of my team and how well we've worked together over the season. And I'm proud of how far we've come together as a team, working together, building bonds, and having a great season.
Patek wants to be remembered for her positivity and encouragement that she gave the underclassmen and told them to just keep moving forward. St. Joseph Lady Flyers played the San Antonio Christian Lions, and the #1 ranked team in the state continues to dominate. The Lady Flyers did score 1 run in the first inning, but the Lionesses followed in suit by scoring 1 as well in the bottom of the first. St. Joseph went on to score 2 more in the third inning, but eventually the St. Joseph Flyers bat were too much for the San Antonio Christian. The Flyers, would hit 2 home runs and go on to score 9 runs in the contest while only allowing 3. UHV softball team took on the #2 ranked Our Lady of the Lake University, but could not come out with a single victory. Shiner graduate Cameron Cowan pitched her 27th career complete game, putting her 5th all-time at UHV. The Jags lost 2-0 and 3-2 in the doubleheader during their homecoming. Now they will prepare for another tough matchup against Texas A&M Texarkana, who is ranked #7 on Friday, and then another doubleheader on Saturday against LSU Alexandria. Well, that's your sports. Karina, back to you.
Gina, thank you. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, we'll also take a look at the weather affecting 2 planets, making Mac's job harder.
Let's do it, Kelly! I am so excited about what's happening right now. From Dungeons & Dragons, Michelle Rodriguez and Sophia Lillis. I love both of your characters.
That whole scene was insane.
I have no idea how you pulled that off. There's another blockbuster coming soon, Fast and Furious.
You're gonna be left a little incomplete.
Movies don't end like this. Greatest teaser ever.
Anybody remember their dreams last night? Did you dream of being here with us?
Next live, Kira Sedgwick, and from Grey's Anatomy,
good morning, everyone.
Harry Shum Jr.
Now, Ryan, look, I'm going to tell you something, and this kind of thing happens to you all the time, but it doesn't happen to me because I work here.
I work here too, by the way.
No, I know, but
at least for a few more weeks.
Kimberly and Angel lost their 10-year-old daughter, A-Marie, in the tragic Uvalde school shooting.
She'll never know I was trying so hard to get in there.
The friend who tried to save her.
She said they shot my best friend.
She said she was laying there, not breathing, so she hugged her.
While saving herself. She smeared blood on her to make it look like she had been shot. A Dr. Phil exclusive.
The ultra-rare pink diamond could fetch $35 million at an auction. Sotheby's Auction House will put the 10-carat gemstone up for sale in New York in June. It's named the Eternal Pink, but it's classified as a purplish pink. The auction calls it the most valuable diamond of the shade to ever go on auction, and one of the most important in history. South African firm De Beers says it discovered the gem inside a mine. NASA says the weather is changing on Jupiter and Uranus. These images from the Hubble Space Telescope show Jupiter's Great Red Spot shrinking. The agency says it could regain its size if it merges with a separate string of recently visible storms. As for Uranus, its north pole looks like a large off-white circle. Scientists say the appearance comes from a kind of haze inside it and storms along its edge. A comparison of the photos from 2014 and last year shows the northern cap is getting bigger and brighter as the storms carry on those 2 planets. Look at that.
So if you look at Jupiter, those are skin spots, skin splotches. That's all it is.
So you're calling it old? No.
It's
well, I mean,
about 14 billion years, you know. I mean, it'll happen to you too in about 14 billion years.
Well, as for the weather, I can't say in Uranus or Jupiter, but what about the weather here?
Well, here I can do that. Yes, things are looking good, folks. The clouds will be with us. There may be a light rain overnight. Tomorrow, the south wind is going to get strong, and that's why we're going to start warming up. As a matter of fact, by Saturday, we're looking for a high of 85, just in time for the Iguana Fest in Port Lavaca. We all got to get tuned up for that one.
That's right. And now a new study suggests the female Colorado checkered whiptail lizard tends to eat when it's stressed. And me too, honestly. It reports the lizards.
Ice cream,
no,
especially.
right? Well, it reports the lizards are subject to noise from U.S. Army flyovers, causing her to stress eat when she hears it. In 2021, researchers observed 82 lizards during flyovers and collected blood samples. In the samples, they found energy-burning compounds associated with heightened stress. It was determined the female lizard becomes highly interested in food during these flyovers. So I guess the noise just really gets to her, you know?
Well, they need to eat all the mosquitoes. Stress out and eat all the mosquitoes.
Put them to work. And maybe a little ice cream will help release the stress. You know?
Me and that female lizard were like this, because I also eat when I'm stressed.
Stress eat.
I also, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Well, thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on Crossroads Today Plus, and don't forget, join Carolina Astrain and meteorologist Trey Mining for 25 News Now Sunrise.